Hello everybody, Rose Thorn here. Today I'm doing a tarot reading on Foodie Beauty. Those of you that come to my channel, I normally do the tarot readings during my live chats. But today I wanted to do something a little different with my tarot readings. I wanted to do a video. And why am I doing a video versus doing it in a live chat? Because sometimes when you do tarot readings, it's good to do them without any kind of distractions. And trying to do a tarot reading while talking to people, you can get easily distracted. So Foodie lately has been dabbling with the tarot. You guys already know how I feel about that. But I decided, you know what, it's time to do another tarot reading on her. So before the reading, I went through all the steps to make sure I gave the best clear reading possible. I cleansed myself. I took a nice long hot bath. I cleansed my space. I cleansed my cards and then let them rest for a few minutes after I was done cleansing them. So I basically set myself up so when I do this reading for you, it will come out very, very clear. So I have my cards with me. For those who are not into the tarot, or perhaps you're curious about the tarot, if you're wondering what kind of deck I'm using, it's the Rider-Waite deck, which is a really good deck to use if you are a beginner. If you are someone and you're interested in the tarot and you're wondering, what's the deck I should use first? You can use any deck you want. I recommend the Rider-Waite deck because it's really easy to understand. It's really great for beginners. Also, for those who are wondering, how did you cleanse your cards? How do you clean your cards off? There are a variety of methods you can use to cleanse your cards. Some people put them out in the moonlight, some in the sunlight. My method of cleansing my cards is to pass them over incense smoke. So I just lit a stick of incense, passed my cards over the smoke, and then put them back into the bag and let them rest for a minute. And now they're ready to use. And I can already tell a difference in the way my cards feel. They feel a bit lighter. Those of you that do the tarot, maybe you know what I'm talking about. That if you do too many readings, your cards will start to feel heavy. Mine were starting to feel heavy from too much energy gathered up. So I pass them over the smoke and they feel a lot lighter and they feel fully charged. So I'm going to do some readings on Foodie and also Nadz and Deedee and Peetz, and see what the cards have to say. I'm not going into this with any preconceived ideas of what the cards are going to tell me. I'm just going to let the cards speak to me. I'm someone that I don't just go by the pictures on the cards. A lot of my reading is intuitive. You just pick up different things as you read the cards. You just open yourself up and you just pick up different things that you feel or that you're thinking when you're reading, and that's how you interpret the message of the cards. So it's important that when you have your cards, before each reading, that you do cleanse your cards and then you shuffle them, because that puts your energy back on the cards. So that's what I'm doing right now. I'm shuffling the cards. Again, you can shuffle them any way you want if you are interested in the tarot. And as you're shuffling, you're focusing on what you want to ask the cards. As far as tarot card spreads, there are different spreads you can do. Some people use the 3-card method. Some people do 1 card. Again, it all depends on preference. I do the spread where you've got a layout of one set of cards going this way, and those cards that are all together in the symbol of a cross, those are things that are going to happen more immediately. And then I do another set of cards beside that, and those are things that are going to happen a little bit later. So let me just go ahead and shuffle up the cards, get my energy back on the cards, because they are absolutely clean. I can feel it. They just got no energy whatsoever. Just go ahead and focus on Foodie. What do the cards want to tell me about Foodie Beauty today? Again, no preconceived ideas of what they're going to say, because I have no idea. idea what's going on with Foodie Beauty. What do the cards want to tell me today about her? What's going on with her? What's going to happen with her? I'll show you guys the spread once I lay it out. That's interesting. Just go ahead and lay these out one at a time. So let me just go ahead and take my webcam so you guys can see the spread. There's a couple of cards. There's another card right underneath this one. But here's the spread. I'll explain each one in a second. I just want to give you guys a clear picture of how I lay out my cards and what the spread looks like. Okay. We put the bag over here. Okay, so let's focus on the cards that you can't see, the ones that were right on top of the center one. So the first card I laid down for Foodie is the Three of Wands. When I look at this card, I just get this sense of, what do I do next? Where do I go from here? There's a sense of just wondering what to do. There's a sense of, she's just grabbing at anything, or she's looking for anything to get attention, to make what she's got going on bear fruit. As you can see about the Three of Wands, she doesn't have much going on behind her. And what she does have going on behind her it isn't very prosperous. What she's doing is not bearing fruit. It's barely blooming. So she's just looking out into the horizon saying, what can I do? What can I do? But she's just standing there and she's not making anything happen. She's not planting new seeds. She's not trying to get a greater harvest. She's just relying on a very few things to keep being prosperous, and it's just not working. It's barely doing anything for her. But yet there's a sense of, the word I keep getting in my head is just stagnation. Like, she's very stagnant right now. Foodie is. She's very stagnant. She's very still when she should be moving. She should be moving and taking action and getting things done, and relying on what's behind her to keep her going and to sustain her. And it's barely hanging on for dear life. So the card on top of that is the Sun card. She thinks that there's going to be happy days, that she's holding on to the hope that everything will turn around, that she's living in her glory days of when she was making all kinds of money on YouTube, and she had money to burn, and just the word that keeps coming into my mind is the fool. Like, she's still got that childlike fool way of thinking of just, everything's going to be fine, everything's going to be all right, everything's okay for now. She's living in that fool's paradise of everything's okay. Like, she just go riding off into the sunset, no dark clouds above her head. It's just, everything's okay. As long as she keeps things going that are going, she can keep deluding herself that everything's okay. Now, on top of that card was this card. but it wasn't upright, it was sideways. This is the conflict. This is the conflict card. So you have this beginning card that we started out here, the Three of Wands, where she's looking out into the horizon and she's wondering, what can I do? What can I do? She's got just a few things around her that are keeping her going, keeping her world going. Although they're not as prosperous as they once were, she's still holding on to what little bit she does have. She's got a very tight grip on what she's grabbing onto, but yet not moving forward and creating a bigger harvest, a greater harvest. And then on top of that, you've got the Sun card, which is basically her outlook of everything's going to be fine, everything's all right, da-da-da-da-da, living in the delusions. And then you've got this card, the Three of Cups, and this would normally be a great card of celebration, but it was this way. It was this way. And so I read a lot off of intuition. And what I keep getting off of this card is that you see three people in the card celebrating. And cups in the tarot normally mean prosperity, success, abundance. When I look at this card, I think of Nadz, Deedee, and Chantal. So what would normally be a card of harmony and prosperity, it's kind of reversed. There's a conflict there between the three. And the three that would normally be celebrating and celebrating prosperity are not getting as much prosperity. The prosperity is, it's being jinxed in a way. So there's no celebration here. The three that are wanting to celebrate aren't celebrating the way they thought they were. There's conflict, there's fights, there's some bad energy there. So what are the cards around those three middle cards? One of the things about my readings, when I do readings, you know, like everybody has their own way of doing readings. When I've got the crossed spread, I look at the cards that are opposite each other, because the way I do it is that whatever the two opposing cards are, they kind of relate to each other. I mean, all the cards have a story to tell, but the two cards that are like from the top and the bottom and the two sides, they basically relate to each other. So let's start with the top and the bottom. The top is the Two of Swords. And the bottom card to that is this card, the 1, 2, 3, the Seven of Cups. So the top card is Foodie. You know, the picture is a person in front of an ocean holding two swords and blindfolded. When I look at this card, how it relates to Foodie, the message that I get off of it is that, you know, she's got a sword in each hand, which represents the conflict, both on YouTube and off YouTube. Like, she's involved in, you know, she's got swords in both hands. She's like constantly involved in fights, always involved in conflict, inside conflict, outside conflict. And yet, despite the fact that she's got weapons in both hands, you know, she's willingly making herself blind to, how can I say this? She's so busy fighting battles that don't matter, that she's neglecting the battles that do matter. She's so busy fighting everyone on YouTube and fighting with reactors and just YouTube drama, that the real battles that matter, she is not paying attention to. You know, she's involving herself in things that don't matter and neglecting the things that do matter. Just sitting still and involving herself in fights that really do not matter. While she's doing that, you know, she's over there dreaming about prosperity, and there's many doors in front of her. But Foodie is only interested in the doors that would mean quick success, easy success. Uh, the doors that tempt her the most are the ones that revolve around quick, easy gratification. You know, hence the picture of the snake. You know, looking towards men, perhaps. You know, dreaming about men and the temptations and addictions. You know, like there's all kinds of cups here. But Foodie is only interested in the ones where she can drink from the cup right away, not cups that it would take a little longer to get to them, but the reward would be greater. It's all about just, I want what I want now. I want a victory now. I don't want it later. I don't want to work for it. Just, you know, like the clouds represent like her dreaming all the time about things she wants, things that she just keeps envisioning. And it's all about, her dreams are all revolving around exaggeration of everything. Excessive money, excessive men. Her dreams are not healthy. She's not dreaming about anything healthy. She's not going after anything healthy. It's all about selfish wants, selfish need, quick gratification, always looking to the dark clouds rather than seeking out the lighter clouds where there would be some sunshine. So then you've got these two other cards, the ones that are on the right and left side. You have the Five of Cups, and you also have the King of Swords. These two cards do go together. Let me hold them up to you so you can see them again. So let's start with the left card, the Five of Cups. You see a person with 3 cups overturned in front and 2 behind. So what this card says to me is that the prosperity around her, there's going to be a great deal of loss. There already has been some loss, but there's going to be more. She's not going to lose everything, but she's going to lose a great deal. King of Swords, it's because of Nadz. Like, her involvement with Nadz is causing her to lose a great deal. Although being involved with him, she's not going to lose everything, but she, like, her cup of prosperity is not going to be what it once was or as big as she wants it to be. So Foodie is going to experience even more loss. It's interesting that beside that card, if you guys remember, was the Three of Cups with people celebrating, and this thing was inverted. This card was literally pointed this way towards this card. So this card, like when I lay it down, it's like this. Do I think that that matters? Absolutely. I think that a lot of Foodie's loss now and later has to do with Natter and Deedee. That she's experiencing a great deal of loss because of being involved with them, involving herself with them, wrapping herself around them. And at some point, she's going to realize that. And she's going to cut her losses and let that situation go, although it's not going to be for a while. But she's lost a lot, but she's going to lose even more the longer she hangs on to Natter and Deedee and her association with them. So let's go to the 4 cards, which have to do with things that will happen a little later. So this is the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 of Wands. Obviously, it's a card of conflict, but it's not just this is not just a card of conflict. This is not just her fighting with people. This is her fighting against herself. These are not just people fighting with her. This is her resisting change. This is her resisting anything that might be prosperous. She's literally refusing to do anything to better herself, help herself. This is her saying, I know I should be doing all these things. I know I could be doing this, 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 and this to make money. But I'm not going to. I mean, she is absolutely stubborn. She's dug her heels in. You got all these wands coming at her, all these things that could add to her harvest. And she's saying, no, I don't want anything to do with that. I'm going to stick to the same old, same old. She is digging her heels in and she's saying, no, I don't want a bigger harvest because that would mean I have to work. I have to put some effort in. I don't want anything to do with that. So this isn't just her fighting with people. This is her fighting against herself, and this is the part of herself that says, hey, we could do this, this, and this. And her saying, no, I'm set in my ways and I want nothing to do with that. So there's been a lot of wands in this reading, a lot of wands and a lot of swords. This is the only pentacle card in the deck. Now, in the tarot, cups they could represent money or prosperity of some kind, abundance, maybe new ideas, some success of some kind. Pentacles, they could represent business or money. So we have the 5 of Pentacles here, and you see the 2 people obviously having a rough time. I see that as one of 2 things. Either her and Peetz are going to fall on hard times, or this is Foodie helping out Deedee and Natter. Because I've heard that Deedee, she perhaps lost her job. I've been having the feeling lately that it's Foodie who's been financially supporting more of Deedee and Natter, maybe because of that, maybe because of other reasons. But so this supporting of herself and Peetz, or perhaps Deedee and Natter, it's going to happen for quite a while. But there's some hard times that coming. And there's going to be a significant amount of money involved. This is not going to be a quick fix. The next card kind of supports that, the fact that Chantal is not just supporting herself anymore. She's taking care of Peetz. She's taking care of the cats. There's also there's money going out the door towards Deedee and Natter, and that's supported by this right here. Like she's having to do more work. She's having to scramble for more money because of the added financial burden. Like everything that keeps going, it's all supported on her shoulders, because there's nobody really around her that's giving any kind of financial support. So the last card is the Knight of Cups. This card, to me, it just seems like there perhaps is something might be coming Foodie's way. There might be a little bit of money involved with it. If there is, I don't know what it is or how it is, but a message about money, a message about prosperity. If there is something coming to Foodie, uh, she may or she may not take it, but maybe something is going to be offered to her, and it's going to be up to her to take the opportunity or the message or not. But like something's going to be happening to where something or someone around is going to approach her about making money, and she may or may not take the opportunity. So that's it for the Foodie reading. So let me go ahead and do one on Natter. Since everybody's wondering about his cards too, I'm just going to do one on everybody. Let's take this video and let's cover everyone in the Foodie Beauty circle. Let me go ahead and cut the cards. Shuffle them up real good. I always make sure to shuffle up the cards correctly. And before I forget, because this is important, I would like to take a minute to say hello and thank you to Kaya Simon's Life. I was in her chat last night, and the tarot reading thing came up because she was covering Miss Kelowna, and she was talking about me and another tarot reader, and Kaya was giving me a lot of love, so thank you very much for that, Kaya. I really do appreciate it. Kaya's awesome. Everybody, please check out Kaya Simon's Life if you haven't already. Very cool people. Like, she does enjoyable reactions. And Kaya, I love your dogs. Can I please get a dog ASMR video of the dogs just snoring? That's so relaxing. I came into your stream once and one of your puppers was snoring, and I thought it was the most adorable thing. Just record your dogs sleeping and snoring. That was like the cutest thing ever. But we're going to do one on Mr. Natter. So I'm doing my tarot card reading video right now, y'all. And then after I'm done, I'm going to download World of Warcraft on my gaming PC, and we're going to do some World of Warcraft content tonight. So from tarot to gaming, we got it all here. So we're going to cover Mr. Natter and see, what the cards have to say. Very interested. What do the cards want to tell me about Mr. El Shami? And I'd like to say that this tarot card reading is for fun and entertainment purposes only. This is strictly for entertainment. So please just take it as that. Okay. I just want to make sure the cards are properly shuffled so that the same cards don't pop up in the reading unless they want to show themselves. It's not because I'm using the same cards for everybody's reading. So what do the cards want to tell me about this? What do they want to say? What's going on with Natter? What's he up to? What's he going to be up to? What do they want to say? Oh. Oh. I'll see you guys in a second. Yikes. Damn. All right. So let me just go ahead and take my webcam down. Oops, so you guys can see the cards as they are. There's the immediate spread. There's a couple of cards underneath the Ace of Pentacles. Over here we have this spread over here. Okay, and I will explain the cards as I go. Okay, so let's start with the first card I put down. You guys saw that I shuffled the cards. I shuffled them real good. Natter got the same card as Foodie starting out. I shuffled the cards. I did. It's interesting. They both got the same card. The same one, the Three of Wands. He's doing the same thing as Foodie. He's doing the same thing as Foodie. He's standing on a hill, looking out, wondering what to do next, wondering what he can do to make more money, to be more successful, and yet he won't get off that hill. He won't make a move. He won't step away from what he's comfortable with and try new things. It's just reaching backwards and grabbing onto what he has. He's got a death grip on that wand and he won't let it go. He's gotten too comfortable with what's familiar and what's easy versus reaching in front of him to grab onto the unfamiliar, where there might be some difficulty and there's going to be more hard work. See? And the sense that I'm getting from his Three of Wands is that, you know, this did not jump out at me when I did Foodie's reading, but this is jumping at me right now. All right, everybody take a look at this little sash going behind him, like on his outfit. There's a sense that I'm getting from this card that he just thinks he's the king. Like he's the king of his castle. He's the king of the mountain. And, you know, he feels victorious. He feels like he's won something. He's doing something. He's above everybody else. So he's just standing on that hill thinking he's victorious. Although there's really nothing behind him. There's no castle behind him. There's nothing of significant value behind him to make him feel that way. It's just that he's convinced himself that, you know, he's king of his mountain. And he's the little bit that he's got around him, he grabs onto it and it makes him feel strong. But as you can see, there's not much that he's grabbing onto. But at the same time that he's grabbing onto it, feeling like a king, at the same time, you got that conflicted thinking of things are not as successful as they could be. What more can I do? And yet he won't break out of that same in a corner way of thinking that Foodie's got going on. He won't try new things. He won't do new things. He won't improve himself. It's just king of a very small mountain. But for him, even if it's a small mountain, it's still a mountain. So what's interesting is the next card on top of that, the Hierophant. That was directly on top of him. Judgment. I'm just going to say what I'm feeling and what I'm getting off this card. I'm getting a feeling off this card that he's going to have to make a decision between Foodie and Deedee. Like there's some kind of decision that has to be made with those two. It has to do with money. You got the two keys at the bottom. Like, which way am I going to go? Am I going to stay with Deedee? Am I going to be with Foodie? The Hierophant is essentially like judgment. which way do I go? Which female do I stay with? And if I go with one and I let go of the other, how's it going to affect me? Judgment. Now, on top of that card is the Ace of Pentacles. Pentacles in the tarot normally represent business and money or business opportunities. This would normally be a good card, but it was this way. So Foodie and Nadders readings are pretty much turning out to be a little bit similar, aren't they? So the Ace of Pentacles, which would normally be a seriously good card for abundance and success, when it's this way, it's not. It's not. That means there's not as much money, there's not as much abundance, there's not as much success, conflict with money or business. So what are the next two cards? So you have the 3, 4, 5, 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got these two cards that were opposite each other, the 9 of Wands and the 3 of Swords. So there seems to be a conflict with what's going on inside of him and what's going on outside of him. That's what the cards are telling me. So the Wands, you know, like there's matters of the heart and business are getting in the way. I don't know what could be bothering him emotionally, but something's going on inside of him that it's causing a lot of turmoil. Could be maybe some conflicts going on between Deedee and Nadder. I'm sorry, him and Deedee and Chantal. But there's something emotional going on. Something very dark. And it has to do in business and in the prosperity and success are mixed up in it. A lot of conflict. A lot of conflict. So this is how Nadder sees himself, or he wants to see himself. He's envisioning himself as being someone, he's king of his mountain again, with a lot of prosperity behind him. This is where he wants to be. And the Knight of Pentacles, he's looking for ways to make money. But what he's looking towards, he's not going to make as much money. There's only one pentacle. So whatever he's trying to make money, whatever he's doing, trying to increase his money, it's not going to work the way he thinks it will. So the next four cards, you got the Lover's card. What's interesting is that I know that Deedee, Nadder, and Chantal are all in cahoots together. They're talking to each other. But it's interesting when I look at the Lover's card, there's only two people here. So where's the third person? Same thing with this. Maybe he's telling one of them. He's now telling, he's leaning more in one direction than the other right now. I don't know which direction it may be, but he's leaning more in one direction than the other Whether it's Deedee and Chantal, I can't tell you. But he is leaning in one of their directions, saying a bunch of stuff and filling that person's head with, yeah, everything's going to be okay, and we're going to have lots of money, and have a good life together. He's not telling both women the same thing. Like he's leaning more in one direction than the other. So the Fool card, you know, he's playing the part of the fool. He's just trying to tell himself everything will be okay, and he just being very carefree about everything, and thinking that's going to lead to this, the Knight of Cups. So I don't know in which direction Natter is going to go as far as which woman he's planning on ending up with, but he's whispering in somebody's ear, and more so than the other these days. He's whispering in somebody's ear, and you know, don't know which way it's going to go. But if there is a three-person situation as far as a relationship going on right now, it won't be that way forever. Like one person's going to get cut out. He's probably going to throw his lot in with whoever he thinks will keep him going that much longer. So I don't know if it's Deedee, I don't know if it's Chantal, but he's already kind of whispering in the ear of one of them more so than the other. Somebody's going to get cut out of the three-person situation. Like one person's going to be let go. So let me just go ahead. So we just did Natter. We did Chantal. Now let's move on to the lesser players in the Chantal play. Let's go off with Miss Deedee. Because Deedee's a bit of an interesting character. You know, she painted herself as being innocent. She's not as innocent as she appears, is she? You know, she's a bit of a puppet master. So what is her role in all of this? Like, what are the cards going to tell me about her? So what about Deedee? What about Deedee? What's going on with Deedee? What's going on with Miss Deedee? And once again, this reading is for entertainment purposes only. Just doing this for fun. Just take it as that. I want to go ahead. I'm cutting these up real good because we've already done 2 readings. I don't want to see the same cards unless they want to end up in the same place. So. Oh, cards are already jumping out at me. You guys want to talk to me today, don't you? My cards keep jumping out of the deck. They're ready to talk. Okay, I hear you. All right, so. Well. Interesting. Interesting. All right, let me just line these cards up so you guys can see them as I explain them. So, all right, you guys are looking at the spread. There's like one beneath that one middle card. I'll show it to you guys in a minute. I just want to show you the spread real quick before we get started. All right. All right, so let's start with the center card. So this is the first card I laid down for Deedee. This is the 1, 2, 3, the 9 of Pentacles. This is how Deedee sees herself. She really thinks that she's got a handle on everything. This is how she sees herself. This is where she thinks she's going to end up. She thinks that this whole situation is going to lead to lots of money, prosperity, peace, all of that. You know, she thinks she's the puppet master. And she's got control of everybody around her. And that she's, you know, she's in control of all this money making. She's the mastermind. And she also thinks that she's, even though there might be a three-way situation here, that her and Nadz are tighter. Like that's her partner. Like he's all in with her. Deedee, you're going to be the odd one out. You got two people walking away from you while you're by yourself fighting the battles alone. You're going to be the odd one out, Deedee. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. 5 of Swords. You're going to be the odd one out. Actually, you know what? I take that back because that was the conflict card. I apologize. Let me take that back because I read that wrong. It was inverted, so that meant it was an opposite meaning. Since it was this way, she's got control of the other two. Chantal and Nadz. She's controlling them. She's the ringleader. They listen to her. Deedee sees herself as this, as the Empress. But she's paying a price for trying to be the Empress. She's going through a lot of conflict. She's inviting a lot of trouble into her life that was not there to begin with. You know, like a lot of darkness has entered her world because when this whole thing started, and it's not quit yet. So she's gone through a lot of pain and a lot of suffering just because she wants to end up as this. And there's going to come a point where it becomes too much for her and she's going to walk away. She's going to walk away from it. Or she's going to have to walk away. Like this is a person, 1, 2, 3, 8 of Cups. This is somebody walking away from something that was once prosperous and leaving it behind. And the opposite card of that was this. The King of Cups. So these two were opposite each other. A person walking away from something that once there was a lot of money involved or a lot of prosperity. And there was a King of Cups on the opposite side. So to me, that it says she's going to walk away from Natter. She's going to reach a point where she has enough and she's going to walk away. Or she's going to be forced to walk away. She's going to be the odd person out. And that's the message that keeps coming through, is that it's starting out as a 3-person thing and it's going to end up as a 2-person thing. She's going to be the odd person out. So we've got the 3 of Cups, celebration, which interestingly leads to the World card, opportunity, going out into the world, doing different things, which leads to the Strength card, which leads to the Knight of Wands. So all these cards together, there seems to be a message. It starts off with being involved in something where there are 2 other people involved, there's some prosperity, but letting that go to go out into the world to do other things. Opportunity, which is going to take strength to walk away from that situation. And finding something elsewhere for prosperity. So that was Deedee's. One final reading for Peetz, since he's like the other side player to the Chantal show. Let's do one for him. And then I can close out these readings and cleanse my cards and put them back and let them rest. And I can go ahead and download World of Warcraft and maybe do some gaming content for you guys tonight. Sound good? I think so. So what about Mr. Peetz? What's going on with him? What's going to happen with him? What about James? What about Peetz? Like to know about Peetz. Oops. Just want to make sure they're properly shuffled up before I do anything. All right, we're ready. Oh. Wow. Okay. So this is Peetz's spread. You guys can get a good look at it. And I will explain the cards and hold them up for you guys. All right, so let's start with the bottom card, the first card that I pulled out. So the Sun card was the first card I pulled out. Peetz is very childlike right now, and he believes anything that Foodie tells him. So as long as she tells him that everything's okay, he believes her. So right now he's under the illusion that everything's fine. They've been going out recently and doing things together. So, you know, she's maintaining this thing of everything's fine. James, don't worry about it. Don't worry, don't worry. So, like, he's riding on a high right now. He's literally riding on a high. You got the Four of Cups. Because Foodie is taking care of him, you know, he just feels like he's got an abundance in front of him, and there's more being offered, and he's not interested because all of his needs are being met. He's just not interested. He's, you know, he's not reaching for what he could reach for to help himself because there's no need. There's no sense of urgency or danger or like I've got to do something. The urgency just isn't there. He's just very he's just very stagnant with his life and with his thinking. So he's just sitting still and in place. One, two, three, four, five. Five of Wands, and this was inverted. It wasn't this way, so it was this way. This would normally be a card of conflict, but there's so much stillness in his life. There's not a whole lot of conflict. You know, so he's just basically keeping him to himself. Life wants to help Peetz out, but he's just not reaching for anything at all. He's just absolutely still. There's no movement in his water at all. It's completely still. You got the Wheel of Fortune, which means anything can happen. Like he could do anything he wants. It's just a matter of breaking out of that corner that he put himself in to do something. You know, life is saying life can be whatever you want it to be, Peetz, but you got to move. You got to move the wheel. The wheel can't move on its own. But he's just getting caught up in little petty battles that mean nothing, and being Foodie's foot soldier and backing her up, and that's where his attention is a lot. Is just being there for her, whatever you need, Chantal, whatever you need from me, Chantal, just always being right beside her to help her fight her battles. I'm sensing some jealousy. There is some jealousy. The fact that Nader has a stronger control over Chantal than he has, that's how he sees himself, as a lesser person. And he knows that Nader has more the control over Chantal. He doesn't like that. Like both men are vying for a bit of control over Chantal. He's not really controlling Chantal, just the fact that they're both men in her life that she supports financially. It's just about who she's going to support more in the future, who's going to be there the longest. That's the competition I'm talking about. You know, like he thinks he's going to win that. Nader thinks he's going to win that. And so they're both just playing tug of war with Foodie and her money. So you got the King of Wands. You know, Peetz is in his room, living in the house, thinking that, you know, he's very comfortable being there with Foodie. He doesn't have a whole lot of prosperous things going on. He's got one thing. It's not very prosperous, but he's holding on to it, and he's comfortable. He's very comfortable in his little throne, and he doesn't want to move off of it. And then, of course, you've got Foodie, and she's got control of the money. He's relying on Foodie too much. He's looking at her too much as the caretaker and believing that she'll take care of everything at all times, that she will possibly fail. He's always looking up to her and towards her to take care of all necessary needs. The unfortunate thing is that's where he's going to end up. It's not looking good for Peetz. A lot of conflict, a lot of trouble, a lot of strife is coming for Peetz. A lot of battles. It's going to be very devastating for him. And yet, even with these battles going on, even with the trouble that's coming, he still will not take the blindfold off and see things for what they are. He wouldn't be able to deal with it. I think it has a lot to do with, I don't know what's going to happen with Foodie. I don't know what's going to happen with Peetz or Nadz or Chantal, but the sense that I keep getting off the cards is that even when everything happens, he is still not going to wake up to the truth about Foodie. He's still going to halfway delude himself and still keep believing in her, unfortunately. So those are my readings for Peetz, Nadz, Deedee, and Chantal. Remember, I did them for entertainment purposes only. I hope you guys have enjoyed this recorded tarot readings for all four. If you have, please like and subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you very much for watching this video, and I hope to see you guys later. Please take care of yourselves, and bye-bye.